At last! I was sure I'd die in that wretched place. You have my thanks. If not for you, I probably would have been found, gutted and salted. I can't just saunter away. Who knows what might be lurking in a place like this? But once I'm sure the way's clear, I'm running to Ox like a cat with its tail on fire. I'm done with this stinking town. I've been asking myself the same thing. I was just enjoying some stew in the tavern, reading over my latest acquisitions, and then I was surrounded by magisters.
He hands you a damp scroll. In between the fish guts, it seems to give details of how to cast a powerful source spell.
Here, take it. That's the scroll that caused all this. I barely got out of there with my life. In the kitchens of the tavern, of all places. That cook had it. Offered it for a great price, too. I thought she was an idiot selling it so cheap. Then again, I'm the dolt who ended up in a barrel. But if she has Magister artifacts, she must be the one they're looking for. Oh, of course. I mean, I'm not much of a sorcerer, but I have my connections. Hanag's a pretty powerful source master, incredible control of portals. I've never seen anyone bend space like she can. Last I heard, she was holed up in a house out in Paradise Downs, the farms to the north. There's more than a few magisters around those parts, though. She might still be there, might not. But I pity any red cloak that gets on her bad side. I swear, once I get to Ox, I'm going to have the bath of my life.
Hope that fella makes it out of Driftwood. The Reds will kill him if they find him. You were? Atta boy. Like a swift kick in the Reds' bollocks, that. You gladden an old dwarf's heart, fella, me lad. And even these rotten kippers smell the better for it.
The dog sniffs the wooden decking, like there's something wrong.
Something's wrong. Something's wrong, and it's not right. I don't know, but there's something wrong, and it's underneath the floor. Be careful down there, mister. You're not smelling what I'm smelling.
Careful now. That's a trap.
Careful.
Look
I've
out.
spotted a
I see a
trap.
trap nearby. Oh, this place stinks. Some of these barrels look interesting.
Dripping with liquid sauce, this barrel is sealed and marked with a cross. From the barrel you sense a familiar power. It thrums in your bones, in your soul. Inside, you find not fish, but weapons. Powerful weapons. The kind of weapons the Magisters took from the Hollow Marshes.
Worms take you.
There were bad things down there, but they smell dead now. You don't smell very good either. Are you a bad thing? That's what a bad thing would say. You smell bad. I think you're a bad thing.
He glances up, recognizes you.
I'm busy. Goodbye.
He looks surprised. Might be faking it, might not.
What weapons? What basement?
He tries to look shocked, fails, knows it, knows you know it too.
Lohar. Lohar's smuggling weapons to Arks. He hides them in the basement, and I make sure they reach the destination. What they're used for and who uses them isn't my business. And it's not yours either.
He swallows, like he has a lump in his throat.
You look like the kind of person who's very forgetful with the right motivation. I have a sum of money in my pocket. It adds up to a very good time in the tavern. God's fine. Take it and go. And if you say a word to Julian or anyone else, expect trouble.
He turns back to his work. You turn towards the safe.
Not much of a landlubber, but sometimes I get no choice in the matter. Besides, there's business to take care of. I always figured every dwarf is pure of heart when they pop out of their mummas, but we ain't born cruel, we're made cruel. That means we can be made uncruel. Not sure Lohar will ever be an upstanding member of his community, but he knows where to draw the lines.
Hello, mister.
The little boy beside her looks at you. He picks his nose.
We're waiting for Joe. Hello, mister.
The little boy beside...
We're waiting for...
Here I still am, and here you still are. Adrift and bloody driftwood. Yes? Have you anything to report?
In short, travel west in search of a dwarven base of operations in the treacherous Reaper's Bluffs.
Should any such place exist, it would be very opportune indeed should you stumble across any correspondence between... I can't describe it to you any plainly than that.
Ain't got much to say. Off with you.
Clyster's back. She doesn't feel like playing, but... Of course, sir. Right away.
No more disappearances? No more deaths?
Humankind establishes control.
You can end all this.
Better get out there before Magus makes it all the way past Arks. I asked you for a man, not a note.
He takes the letter from your hands and reads it quickly, face hardening with anger as he reaches the end.
Bloody goddamn spit-sucking weasel! This is bad. Not just for me and mine. Not just for you and yours. This is bad. For everyone. Hell if I know, but it don't sound good. Seems as though Magus wasn't mine after all. Trouble is, I don't know whose he is. Of course. That's why I haven't heard from the cave. Sabotage. Listen up, I need your help. We all do. Magus has his hands on something dangerous. Something I was trying to protect us from. Not just my folks. The whole damn realm. Look, me and mine, we move classified cargo. Take it right off Magister ships and put it into the hands of those that will use it rightly. Trouble is, we came across something no one ought to have. Not the Magisters, not my folks, not the gods themselves. I ordered it to be destroyed. I guess Magus, whoever he's working for, wants it for themselves. That can't happen.
Think those fingers of yours will ever heal.
The less you know, the better. Trust me. Stop Magus and I'll take care of the rest. My people had an operation up in the caves outside town. Good access to red ships and plenty of privacy too. Haven't heard from them in a couple of days now. I thought maybe we'd lost the messengers to Voidwoken in the hills, but now I think it's worse than I thought. I bet my lucky left foot Magus is in the cave. You gotta get to him before he gets his hands on that cargo. Pray to whoever you pray to that it ain't too late. Finally, someone with a little sense around here. Give me your map. I'll show you where we were operating, where I think Magus will be. I don't want to know what'll happen if he gets what he's after.
Hope you don't go blind after all that.
Why you gotta make us hurt ya?
salted fish. Roam the lodge of the rotten.
As long as you stay put, you'll be safe.
Are you sure? Them sorcerers from the caravan?
They'd be daft to come back. And as long as there's no sorcerers, there's no void woken. You're fine as long as you don't go wandering.
Poor little monster beaver baby. There's only one way. Yes, there's only one thing to do. Papa! Yes, yes, yes! He wanders. He roosts. But he is special. He can help people. Can keep him safe. What? No! Peeper's still just a baby. And Papa can help.
It'd just be indulgent.
Oh, how pensively our shield looks down upon us.
Fine as long as you don't go wandering.
Off you go. I can't be seen raternizing with the likes of you. A sorcerer? Ha! Second rat wizards by my book. The reddish-coloured flesh beasts round here string your kind up by their hands. Well, I'm a rat, and you're some kind of, curious, large-style flesh beast. Never the twain shall mix. Thus spaketh the reddish, large-style flesh beasts. Just look at what happened to that lovely flick-tongued scale slitherer when she spent too much time with a lumbering, large-style flesh beast of her own. No thank you.
The shimmering ghost of a lizard magister turns her gaze upon you. She holds your stare, boring into your mind, searching the blacks of your eyes for the secrets of your soul. but in so doing, she shows you hers. You are Zeushan, a young lizard magister, devoted to the Order. More than this, you are in love with a comrade, a human man of wit and kindness and sweet disposition, who goes by the name of Boris. Pride swells in her, and sadness too, and then you are she again. Alexander dies, and you are bereft. Worse, your human comrades look at you askance, as if his murder was your fault. At the last, even Boris turns against you. When he's posted to Fort Joy, he does not say goodbye. Your heart is broken. Posted to the graveyard shift in the dark of night on the outskirts of town, you do your duty diligently, but your heart is no longer in it. So when you catch a couple of young sorcerers fleeing Raymond's net, you see how deeply in love they are. You do not turn them in, you help them to escape. But in the morning, they are caught and under torture give you up. They go to Fort Joy. You are hanged right here. She bows her head, ready to depart. And she fades away.
Bet you're the musical sort. You've thought about taking up the lute. I got a few ready to go, all freshly strung. A shame. Everyone's got a melody in them. You just gotta look. My brother Laszlo couldn't carry a tune in a bucket when he were a wee thing. Now he's got the voice of an angel. He's all right then, yeah? That's Laszlo, all right. If he had the blues, you'd never know it. Nothing kept his big smile from brightening the darkness. I hate the Magisters for what they'd done. Stole me brother, stole me heart. I keep going though, hoping to get to Ark sooner than later. Lucian's Day crowds will be wanting some musical trifles. Come back if you need. I'll be whittling away. Useful? Ah, you mean deadly. Used to make bows and fletch arrows, but left that hobby behind. There's no shortage of suffering, that's for sure. Maybe I could do me part to help your efforts. Come back later then. I need a bit of time to carve something useful.
Dear child, you sacrifice too much. You need peace, rest. Come here and stay with me a while.
A great pounding suddenly erupts in your chest. Your inner god roars and bellows, an incoherent, maddening cacophony.
It is awful how he treats you. He asks so much and gives so little in return. I am the only one who cares. He will say otherwise. He always does. And in the end, he'll betray you. Don't play his game. Think of yourself. Rest here. The sun is golden. No one will bother you. This moment can last forever, if you let it.
A sudden weariness washes over, bone deep and as irresistible as a strong current. The fatigue ebbs away, then surges back.
Don't fight it. This is how it's supposed to be. Sleep now. When you wake, it will be in a new world. A beautiful world. I only wanted to give you rest, not pain. Now, I leave you to my children. They are many. They are impatient. They lack my gentle touch. I am sorry, truly.
That was no ordinary void worker who spoke. That was the one who leads them.
Oh my gods, you're ugly! You turn milk green and a Magister's red coat black. My Mistress Alice might fancy you, though. She has a taste for the odd, if she ever makes it back. The Magisters with the red coats chased her into the woods. They'll be sorry.
Here be witchery. Trespass not.
You're human, aren't you? You're not straw. But I bit some straw. It was shaped a little like you, but then it moved and threw me off it.
The rabbit shakes its head.
No, I'm dizzy. I hit my head when the straw man threw me in the air.
I'd give up my wings for a respite from this pestilence. My feathers are molting. My wings can't carry me anymore. I feel so cold. All I can think about is warmth.
It painstakingly attempts to flap its spindly wings, failing miserably.
I doubt anything can remedy how terrible I feel.
Is it dead? A phoenix egg.
The egg is warm to the touch, but not from the ashes. This warmth comes from deep within the egg. The egg is smooth and glossy dark, like some rare volcanic mineral. From deep within its core, a fiery glow pulsates, almost like a heartbeat.
A delicacy fit for an emperor. Eat it.
This egg was born of fire itself. It's earned its place in the world. Keep it safe, I say.
A rare find. Could come in handy at some point.
A powerful thing, this egg. Who knows what gifts it might grant if consumed?
To harm something so rare, so defenseless, it would be a terrible sin. Keep the egg safe.
It's beautiful. Don't harm it. Keep it safe.
I shall keep this egg. Who knows what might come of it? I've spotted something.
Old friend, what have you become?
Jonathan, how long has it been?
Gareth looks to the limp body at his feet, then to you, sword raised. He isn't quite present, but lost in his own tangled thoughts.
I knew I'd see him again. I wish it hadn't been like this. The blow knocked him out, but he's not dead. This man, this Magister, his name is Jonathan. He's my friend, or was my friend. I led him here. I felt someone's gaze on me from almost the very moment I stepped foot on the coast. Lucian taught never to ignore augury, and sure enough, I saw the flash of white. I heard the sprigs snapping. Someone was watching, following. I came here and waited. The door swung open and it was him. A face I hadn't seen since I was called to the Seekers. He didn't say a word, just flashed the arrest warrant. Seems he didn't expect the punch. Now I must do as duty requires.
Gareth raises his blade and tightens his grip, but falters. He cannot strike the final blow.
You want me to drag a white across the coast in viewing distance of a dozen Magisters and get a tongue lashing from Malady as a reward? I have not lost all sense, I assure you.
Gareth's fingers open and close around his sword's hilt. His breathing slows and his face relaxes, yet his arm remains suspended. Gareth lowers his arm and straightens his spine.
I know a safe place nearby, away from the creatures of the meadows. I'll take him there. He'll be untouched until he wakes. I pray he remembers what we were, and what we still might be, should Lucian will it.
Before you lies a primitive altar to the Seven, apparently constructed during a bygone era. Something about it appeals to you, a faint heat emanating from the stones, perhaps. The stones appear to be just that. Apart from a few faded red stains across the topmost slab, nothing unusual betrays itself. Gentle heat warms your hand. The air stirs, as though someone had appeared and taken a seat upon the altar. A voice rises around you, its source unclear. Fractured whispers surround you. God woken. The word flutters against your ear. You are my champion. You cannot fail. A jolting sensation pierces your heart. As the shock fades, you realize you've absorbed a modicum of source, seemingly from the air around you. The whispers shuffle away, and the air shifts. Whatever was here a moment ago is gone now.
What is this? Papa? Papa! Papa? Marge? Marge! Oh, Marge! She was a good sort. I'll mourn her with my mourning. Go, 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 go!
The rooster looks his son over, first with one beady eye, then the other.
He has my eyes! But I see nothing but the void lurking behind those pretty peepers. Kill him now or he will kill us all later! Papa? Good choice! Good choice! Oh, gosh! And I'll give you a little something for your trouble after. What is it? Kill the wizard! That's right, Coco! Doubt will serve you ill before the magic cockerel. Coco! Oodles!
Well, that'll teach me to second-guess a magic cockerel.
Big Marge's spirit pecks and pecks at you. It causes no physical pain, but you can feel her beak pecking at your very soul. Peck, peck, peck.
Out of my way, two legs. It's mating season. I've got places to be. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Ah.
Well, there you are. Been trying my hand at a few bows and such, like you asked. Hope you like what you see. Anything else you want to chat about? Use the best wood I can find. Good rosewood ain't too common, but lutes made from it croon like songbirds. I like playing too, though my brother Laszlo was the real talent. Duets with him brought out the best in me. Same to you.
There are soldiers here. Or knights, perhaps. They look capable.
Called your head, did you? Now, where were we? What is it? Killed a wizard! still cool? Thinking about that abomination? Aren't you distracted by the trinkets I gave you in return? That's all you adventurers care about, no? Get your flapping out of my beak!
The winged stone figure reaches to the heavens, a majestic sight among the leaves and branches. The spirit floats in front of you, his eyes unfocused and darting from side to side. Looking down at his mangled corpse at your feet, you see that the front is relatively unmarked, but his back has been eviscerated. Long, jagged cuts run the length of his torso. The spirit's eyes move in your direction, trying to focus, but he seems to look right through you.
The voice. Oh, I can still hear it in the dark. I can hear it whispering. He won't stop. His voice was everywhere. It danced with the screams. Insects with a dwarf's tongue. They came from above. They laughed as they cut us down.
The spirit doubles up, raking his hands across his face, ghostly nails cutting deep into spectral skin.
No, I can hear it. Not the echoes. I can hear it. The voice. It's here.
The spirit shudders and cries, tears running down his cheeks.
Oh, Divine Lucian, protect me. You seven ancient gods, please. Don't let it get me.
The spirit's eyes dart left and right. It reaches tentatively a hand out for a moment, but thinks better of it and turns away. The bull lazily chews non-existent card. It registers your presence.
Well, guess I should have seen that coming. Dying, of course. As soon as they set me pulling that there wagon, I should have known this was how things was going to end. Of course, I can see the future, and I did see this, but I honestly thought I was sleeping. You sure you want to know? Alright, here is your future.
The bull shakes itself, swallows the card, clears its throat.
You're gonna die. Oh, let me think about that now too. Yeah. Okay. Right, here we go. So, maybe.
The bull shrugs.
Here. I don't suppose you could do me a favour and unhitch this here harness so as I can make my way to the Field of Echoes.
The bull nods its thanks and gently fades away.
I knew you'd say yes.
History is written by victors. Do not doubt. Our divine order will prevail.
The spirits of a magister and a dwarf are locked in ethereal combat. Their vicious blows make no impact, yet they struggle on. Mid-snarl, the dwarf spies your presence and staggers back to address you.
Sorcerer! You must hate the Reds as much as I do, eh? Rightly so. Reds had sorcerers locked up tight in that caravan. And you know where they were sending them. You look like you've been there yourself.
The magister lunges for the dwarf, his exasperation clear.
Anna, you saw it with your own eyes. You know sorcerer's law, Voidwoken, and you know we'd all still be alive if you hadn't attacked our caravan. Before it all, Voidwoken stole the sorcerers along the cliffs, headed for Seven knows where.
The dwarf flashes a malevolent smirk at the magister.
I'll be needed no more here. To the halls to tell eternal tales with my ancestors.
Gazing towards some far-off sight you cannot see, the spirit of the dwarf glimmers, fades into nothingness, and is gone.
Fool! You should be locked up in the joy with all those like you.
The Magister's shoulders collapse with relief. His burden lifted, his spirit slowly fades to nothingness before your eyes. Doubled over in agony, the shivering Magister spirit mumbles to himself, tightly clutching 3 golden stalks in one fist. Noting the attention, he straightens, revealing insignia spelling Kinnet, and a jagged wound spilling his innards upon the ground. He reaches a ghostly hand into your chest and squeezes your heart. You become Kinnet, his memories flooding over you and replacing your own. Warmth, comfort. You are Kinnet, playing cards with your mates in a cozy barracks. You stagger to tipsy attention as a white-clad Magister commands that one of your troop seek a lost caravan. It's a one-man job, a job no man wants. Your sly-eyed troop leader holds out straws to you and the others. Who will investigate? You feel the short straw and hear them shout, "Kinnet!" You know what that means. A lonely traipse in the cold dark. You dawdle and grumble all the way, sobering as you find the overturned caravan. Massacre. Your lantern reveals ravaged corpses in every direction. Inhaling sharply, you smell a thick black stench you remember secondhand from the few void-woken corpses your troops have found. No. Kinnet's tears fall from your eyes as you recognize his beloved weapon master, lifeless. A dark thicket rustles to your left. A claw rakes savage stripes across your guts. As Kinnet dies, all goes black. Staggering back from Kinnet's deathly grasp, only your own blood now pumps through your heart. With your living eyes, you see him trembling in front of you, desperately holding out 3 straws. As you pluck the short straw from his hands, Kinnet weeps with relief. His wound disappears in turn, and he is restored to the model image of a strapping young soldier. He looks around, then looks at you, and then he smiles. Smiling broadly, Kinnet fades away. Lobs a stone across the river. It makes a long arc before plunging into the water below.
Oh, Ma! Are you all right? Ma! Huh? Please, you have to help her. There was a fight. Some dwarves attacked some magisters, and there were sorcerers too. And then the bugs came, those void things. They killed everyone. And my ma got them to chase her. and she went across the bridge, and then she raised the bridge, and she told me to run, and now she's stuck over there with them. Not without Ma. Family doesn't just leave each other. You will? Maybe you can cross the river then. Ma lifted the bridge, but there's got to be another way, right? Yeah. You'll make one, and I'll...
His gaze shoots to the ground. He grabs a small, flat pebble and chucks it across the river. Again, it lands in the water below, well before reaching the other side of the cliffs.
I'll keep distracting him.
He performs a divine order salute.